As humans, we are all defined by several synonyms or words that represent who we are to ourselves and others. Hence the show. Hello, dear humanity. Welcome to the pilot episode of Human Thesaurus podcast. I'm your host / restless soul, Wish Ronquillo Peacock. With this podcast, I interview my fascinating friends and acquaintances who I love to talk to about everything under the sun. It's like catching up with them in a cafe or over cocktails, and here you are eavesdropping on our conversations while we explore what words define who they authentically are. For this pilot episode, I'll make my own intro that my guest will provide us. I'll start. My name is Wish, same as the words drop bear as a noun, traversing as a verb, and indomitable as an adjective. My pronouns are she and her. I like the word sesquipedalian, and I dislike the word yolk. How's that sound? Carla Cangleon, or KK, is a marketing addict, ultra connector, and networker, public speaker, among other things. She does a lot of things. I met her through a common friend that we both love. She's so sweet, and we just hit it off. We pretty much met in Manila. And and then we just took our friendship from there. We never looked back since then. My synonyms for her are sunshine as a noun, buzzing as a verb, and zestful as an adjective. I wanted for her to be in my pilot because we also have a project together coming soon. Probably when this launches, we're gonna launch that one too, so watch out for it. I would like us to welcome KK.
Hello, hi, hey, my name is Carla. Same as the words diamond as a noun, challenge as a verb, and genuine as an adjective. You know, I like the word discovery, and I dislike the word hate. Like that?
Love, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. For me, I'm just excited to catch up with you. How are you feeling post this holiday health challenges? I mean, you kind of disappeared because you need to watch after your health. So how are you doing?
I am feeling fantastic right now. The new year started really awful because I got COVID. But, apart from that, well, the worst part about it was I couldn't speak. And I love to talk. And
Yes.
so obviously I had to be quarantined, and I couldn't really speak because of my throat. But now I feel fantastic. I celebrated my birthday, my 47th, last January 24. And I celebrated it with
Pizzazz.
just self-care, self-love, and I'm ready 2022.
Woohoo! Happy birthday, by the way. Yeah, that was a
Thank you.
fantastic kind of opening for you for your birthday, that you're feeling better and stronger, you
I
know.
know.
We're
I
so
know.
happy that you're back too, because I feel like
Oh,
my social feed is not the same without you in it.
oh, that is so sweet. So, what's up for today? What are we doing? What is human word?
It's human thesaurus.
Oh,
So
human thesaurus. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's really more of, it's the same premise, right? But I like it to be a little bit more one-on-one because there's this certain conversation amongst my friends and acquaintances one-on-one that sparks some ideas, or something funny, something dramatic, and things like that. So it's
I
really
love
more
it.
of showcasing how I appreciate the people that I know. I mean, I'm around them because they're fantastic. So
I
that's
love it.
like you.
But thank you so much. It's such an honor to be the first guest here, and I can't wait to know what you have in store for me. I'm really nervous.
Don't be nervous. It's just like, how we're talking about everything all the time. Yeah, so we're just gonna begin with that. But
Hmm.
I wanted to showcase really like how much I became in love with you from the beginning because of the story that you really have, or you know, during an incident. Would you be okay to share that a little bit, even just a little bit? It's not going to be like dramatic, but
Oh, you know
I
what?
just,
To be honest, you
Mhm.
can ask me anything you want, and
Okay.
I'll answer because I'm the book.
Perfect. So yes, I just wanted to, yeah, I just wanted if you could share with our listeners. This is a turning point for me. How much I have so much deep respect for you because of your temporary blindness incident, and seeing you with this positive light and beautiful outlook in life.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just beyond not everybody could do. So, can you share with us like that experience a little bit?
okay. Let me start off with something else. When I was
Okay,
7 years old,
sure.
when I was 7 years old, I got shot by a 38 caliber.
What?
Um, I was in Green Hills, and we watched a mascot, dancing. My grandfather, he always likes to indulge his grandkids with, really nice things and fun stuff. And so he said to my mom, "We will all have a family, trip, and then we'll go to Green Hills, and then we'll have fun." And so we did. I had
Mm-hmm.
fun. I was near the stage.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this restaurant across the stage area. So that's behind the audience, right?
Right.
And so they people started running out of the restaurant and then started shooting at each other. And
What?
so when they started shooting at each other, and I was like very scared, so I thumb sucked. Okay.
Oh.
Then when I thumb sucked, I felt something dripping on my arm. Well, my forearm,
Whoa.
and it was falling down and on my dress, and I'm like, oh no, my dress. You know, it's
Oh.
dirty. My dress is dirty. So I was like, Mom, Mom. And I saw that I had a wound, right? So I showed it to her, and she was saying, shut up, shut up, shut up. And I'm like, Mom, 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 Mom. She said, shut up, shut up, shut up. And I'm like, on the third try, I showed her, it's like Darna, like, Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
my arm up. And then I showed it to her, and she was like, "Wow!" She
Oh
started
my gosh.
crying, shouting, panicking, and she was pregnant then, okay? And then she was like, and then the crowd started looking at us, and you know where we were? We were by the stage. In between was a big audience, a large audience.
Whoa.
How did that bullet get to me? And fortunately, I thumb sucked.
Oh gosh.
And if
Yeah.
it did, it would have gone straight to my chest, right?
Yeah.
And it ricocheted for sure. I don't know because, anyways,
Yeah,
so,
probably.
so I saw the media. Okay, I saw that they were
Mm.
photographers, media, and everything, and I'm like, okay. When my mom started shouting and crying, I started shouting and crying as well. I'm like,
Mm.
oh, because I was scared because she was scared.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
you're beginning to realize
yeah,
something's wrong.
something's wrong. But the truth is, I didn't feel any pain. Okay, so I
Mm.
was just like, okay. I saw the media. I said, okay. I told myself, this is my chance to I have to say something. So
Right. At 7.
yeah, on the way to the ambulance,
Uh-huh.
I shouted out, I don't want to die. I want to see my
Oh.
classmates. And that particular scene that I did, he mentioned it in the newspapers. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. At 7 years old, I was that brilliant. Okay. So going to on the way to the hospital, I didn't feel any pain, but my mom was crying, so I was crying. Okay. Got to
Mm.
Cardinal, which is the closest hospital. Got there, and then they took out the bullet, and I was like laughing. I was like, do you feel any
Euphoric.
pain? No. And then they showed me the bullet, and I'm like, wow. And you know what? My scar right now is
Mm.
exactly what the bullet looked like.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
flat and it hooked on my bone. So it obviously was heated up by when it hit the floor
Yeah,
or
yeah.
somewhere, and then it hit me. So it was very soft, I guess,
Right. So
flat,
it's
and
like
then
it's
it
like
hooked on
a
my bone.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
ricochet, so
yeah.
it's not a direct hit.
No, it wasn't.
Therefore, the force is not as strong as
None, because the force was with me.
yes.
So, and so um, that was fine, right? And then they told
Mhm.
me, okay, let's all go to the precinct because they needed me to identify who shot me. Okay,
Oh my
and I'm like,
gosh.
how would I know?
Exactly.
So we went to the precinct, and then they asked me to sit down, and then they put right in front of me,
Mm.
no glass, nothing. They can see me. Okay.
Oh my gosh, what the hell?
Yes, I know. Right in front of me, they put in 5 people. One of
Wow.
them was bloodied.
Oh shoot.
One was bloodied. Like, seriously, how can I identify anyone? Number one, I was far from where it happened, where they would start
Yeah.
shooting. Number two, they were running. And
Mm.
I was a kid. There was like
Yeah.
there were people, a lot of people right in front of me as the audience was there scattered. So
Mm.
they kept on pushing me to point the guy, the bloodied
Right.
guy. But I said, no, I don't know. I don't know. And then
Yeah.
isn't it this one? And I'm like, no, I don't know. So at 7 as well, I realized that I had some form of integrity. and yeah, and it was nothing for me. It was something that made my mom cry, which really upset me.
Mm.
But and it scared me, but at the same time I was like, I'm okay, I'm okay, you know. So
Wow.
leading back to going back to school, I had like
Mm.
1 week, I just watched TV, and
Right.
my whole family was doting on me, and I'm like, ooh, so nice. And then I finally had to go back to school, of course. So
Right.
on the way to my classroom, I could see that my classmates were standing up. Okay.
Oh.
And then as soon as I entered the classroom, they started clapping. I'm like,
Hero.
wow, wow.
Yeah, action girl.
Yeah, I know, right? And so the teachers were there, the nuns were there. My principal, who's also a nun, was also a nun, but so she was also there. They were clapping, clapping, and we're so glad you're safe, you're alive. You,
Mm.
and then
Wow.
because in the media, I said I don't want to die. I want to see my
Right,
classmates.
of
See.
course. You're so strategic from that point on. Very strategic.
It's so
You know how
odd.
to play the audience.
It's weird, right? But I genuinely wanted to see my classmates though. But I just
Oh.
had to play it out like, really, I have to say it out loud and proud. So the reason I led back to that stage was
Mm.
because my reaction to when the unfortunate time when I got blind
Mm.
happened, I realized that knowing my strength then when I was 7 years old
Mm.
uh, led me to how I reacted
Right.
decades after. So, leading to 2012, 2013, when it happened, it was end of May 31 actually. When it happened, my boyfriend then and I were living in an apartment in BGC, and then
Mm.
I was on my way home, and I
Right.
knew my ex that my boyfriend then was back from Libya, I think,
Mm.
and I'm supposed to break up with him that day. Okay,
Right.
so I knew he was arriving at 4 o'clock, and I was coming back home at 8. Okay, so I first ordered food
Mm.
in the Vietnamese restaurant and told them to deliver it to me.
Mm.
So I arrived at my doorstep at 8 o'clock sharp.
Right.
Opened the door. Then at 8:10 or 8:09, I received the food, the Vietnamese food.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
At 8:10, I the whole building shook and there was an explosion.
Mm.
And so I was like, what happened? And then my boyfriend then said, "Oh, you should go downstairs and then just go downstairs. I'll take care of everything." And I'm like, oh my God, what happened? What happened? You know, it's like you just arrived home, put all your things down,
Yes.
get the food that you're supposed to have for dinner with your partner, and then the whole place, and then you hear an explosion, and then the building shakes like crazy.
Yeah.
And so nothing happened inside the apartment, but
Mm.
opening the door wouldn't even close anymore. So open the
Okay.
door wider, and then I saw the shutters and everything, the ceiling. It was like, wow, what happened? I just passed through there. Okay.
Right.
And then I suddenly thought about the girl who delivered because she rode the elevator.
Yes.
So
Oh.
you get a read. It's like, oh my God, And I was living on the fifth floor then. Oh no,
Yep.
third floor. Third floor. I was living on the third
Mm.
floor. So I wasn't too high up enough. So I'm like, okay, fine. Now he said to me, okay, just go downstairs, check what's happening, and then get out of here, and I will take care of everything. I said, what about the cats? Because we had two cats
Right.
then.
Yes.
And then I said, where? I have to get the cats. And he said, no, I'll take care of them. Okay, just go. And so he was doing a Rambo thing, trying to save all the other neighbors because they were stuck inside their homes.
Oh,
We didn't
yes.
know if there was going to be fire or anything. So when on my way down, someone from the floor above was going down as well, and he was running, trying because he was
Mm.
on fire.
What?
Yes, he was on fire. What, he
Okay.
was behind me, he was on fire. So I tried my best to like really run down quickly so that he to give him more space. I
Yes.
can't go and wait for him to go down because I'll be on fire. You know what
Yes.
I mean? So
Yes.
I had to run down. Okay, so good, fortunately I really was on the third floor.
Mm.
And so came out. Now my boyfriend then he came out without my cats,
Right.
and I am like,
That's why you
livid.
wanted to break up with him.
No, no, not really. But in a way, but then I was like, that justified why I wanted to break up with him. So I'm like, where are the cats? Ah, he forgot.
Yeah.
Which is like because they were our kids, they were like our
Yes.
kids. So I'm like, well, you forgot our kids? What
Yeah.
the hell? Okay, so I tried. The security was like stopping me, and I'm like, no. My voice, my voice
Yeah.
was like, no, you are
Yes.
not
Like
gonna
a
stop me.
cat.
Which
Rawr.
character was that? It's like Darth Vader. My voice became, no,
No.
no. Okay, so I said, no, I'm going up. I am going
Mm.
up. I'm gonna get my kids, and then I'm gonna go down. Okay, that's
Yes.
all I need. So
Oh,
I
okay.
went up, I got them, and then brought them down. Okay, but
Mm.
people calling me up. My mom was calling. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
The truth is, when in panic and something happens, and they're really genuinely trying to see if you're alive.
Mm. Yes.
Right? But then it's not helping the person. It wasn't helping me because the more I was panicked, because it's like, so I was breathing really in and out, in and out. I was hyperventilating, and people were telling me, come on, just breathe and breathe and breathe. That's why I really do think I should have practiced meditation then.
Right.
So, but that was my reaction.
Mm.
And then they billeted us in a hotel,
Yeah.
just right across the condo. And we couldn't get our things, nothing. We had no clothes, extra clothes, nothing. We had nothing with us.
Right. Yeah.
And then I was also very worried because I left over hundreds of thousand pesos check that is in cash
Oh, oh, damn.
in the apartment. And since we couldn't lock it, anyone can go in.
Yes.
So, okay, it was crazy. So, of course, a day goes by. Fortunately, the realtor, they were very kind enough to get us stuff, and then also in the hotel they provided us with like 3 meals a day, laundry, free electricity,
Mm.
everything. Okay, so which was good.
Right.
Same time, I was also going through that relationship crisis that I
Mm.
wanted to break up with him. So I'm like, oh my
Yes.
god, things mixed up. 2 days later,
Mm.
I came back to the my condo, and then of course I couldn't go back inside, but I came
Right.
back to the lobby, and then I was looking for the people in charge, and I was asking, can I get my other things, and
Mm.
said, it may take months before you can go back inside. And so I'm like, oh my god. And then one lady said to me, is everything okay? And I said, yeah. What? Is everything okay? No. And then she said, no, 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 no. I mean, health wise, is everything okay? Health wise. And I'm like, yes, 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 everything's okay. No, no, there's something wrong because you're looking at me this way. You're
Oh,
Something is going on with your eyesight, your vision. The way you're looking at me, and
okay.
you have to go to a doctor now. And so I said, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll go and do it with my own doctor, okay?
Mm.
So
Okay.
I called up my mom,
Yeah.
and now we went to our family doctor, and then she said, and then the family doctor said, you've got to go back to BGC, tell them to bring you to the hospital right now. This is
Oh.
an emergency because it's not about your eyes. This is about your optic nerve. And
Oh,
checkup, okay? Without much checkup, he knew already what was going on.
I see.
And so
Okay.
I'm not physically, damaged during the time, except, they could see that there's an effect on me.
So
And
that
so
was the effect of the pressure of the gas
yes,
explosion in the
um
condo?
that was the effect of, I think it's like a PTSD trauma.
Oh,
Imagine a
oh
trauma.
my gosh. Okay.
So
Okay, I get
because
it. Yep.
yeah, so because I wasn't gassed out or anything, so that was the effect of it. Mentally, health wise, I was not okay. And
Okay.
so yeah, that so 2 days I was straight in the hospital. I was there
Mm.
for a week because I was already fully blind.
What? So hold on. When that lady, probably a guardian angel or something, noticed you,
Yeah.
um, were you feeling something at that time, or
No.
you're still driven by like adrenaline
Yeah,
from the
I was
incident?
absolutely adrenaline.
Oh, I see. I didn't realize that this thing, like this is how it progressed, like how it happened. It was different in my head. But
Mm.
thank you for sharing that, because now I really understand completely all the details that what
Yeah.
led there. So, okay, so you were diagnosed, you were at the hospital, because not everybody would have this experience. I just, can you share, what were you feeling? Because, this is our eyesight. It's one of the, all of our
Senses,
senses
yeah.
just go
Mm.
together. And also, when you live with these senses your entire life and it disappears, how is that process with you? Like, How were you feeling at that time when you were losing your eyesight? To the point that you became blind? Like, what do you have to go through?
Oh, you know what? So because of my personality, I think
Mm,
acceptance is very important when it comes to loving life, loving in relationships,
mm,
friendships, family. Acceptance is one thing that is important, and also
mm,
acceptance of what is going on with the situation, the
mhm.
current situation in my life. And so, you know what? When that happened and I lost my eyesight, I was telling myself, okay, this is boring. This is going to be boring because I can't watch TV, but then I can
Ah,
hear.
right.
Now, my experience then when I was hospitalized,
Yeah.
I could see partially, and then suddenly it
Mm,
was slowly dwindling until black. Okay. So, how I was feeling during that time, to be honest, was I was very scared. It was very scary
mm, mm.
because I wouldn't know if I could get my eyesight back. But
Yes.
then, whatever I could see, I was trying to, memorize everything
Right.
so that I can appreciate it and so that
Mm.
I can remember. It took me only like maybe just like what 3 days to get accustomed to it.
Oh, wow.
But it did not mean because when to get accustomed to it, meaning like, okay, spoon fork, to
Mm.
touching things. Okay, I'm familiar with this. Okay, I was in the hospital, so it was
Yes.
easy. It was easy,
Like
right?
a controlled environment, pretty
Yes,
much. Yeah.
very controlled. And then, I could hear my friends, their voices, so I could
Mm.
hear them speak, and I knew who it was. And so, and I could also feel, and I know what's going on, even if no one is telling me or no one is saying anything.
Mm.
So your senses get so heightened that it's like a superpower.
It's
Um,
a Spider-Man senses type of a
yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly. And during those days, that 1 week that I was there in the hospital, the
Mm.
more I couldn't see, the more things were getting so much clearer.
Whoa. Whoa, that is meta. That is so deep.
How can I explain this? Because it's like losing that sense of sight made me
Mm.
use the other senses, especially my brain, made me use my brain finally to think and reflect on
Right.
what's important to me and what moving forward, where do I go from here? I
Right.
had nothing else to do. But
Mm.
also during that time I was still working, and the unfortunate part was I was working online. How can I do this?
Oh,
Right? So the company in New York didn't even know that this happened to me, because how can I really explain? Like, really, really, everything happened so fast that
yes.
I can't even like put it in my brain how things happen. And the more can I explain it to anyone else, right?
Yes.
So the nurses were pretending to, it's like they were the ones typing for me in my emails.
Okay. Oh, okay.
They were reading my emails, typing for me. And the one time in the hospital, I also had a conference call with
Mm.
4 regions. You know
Oh,
how hard it is, time difference, how hard it is to get everyone together, let alone, you know, cancel on them. And I'm the one
right.
leading the meeting. There's no way I can
Oh,
do that.
yes.
So I
I
had to do
understand.
it alone. And then they were whispering, I had a script. Okay. Fortunately, I also did the script prior. So,
Mm.
and then so the script, and then I was telling the nurses, okay, what to press, what to click on, and everything, so that I know what is being read there. So they were whispering
Mm.
to me. Then I will tell them what I have to say.
Right.
So,
Wow.
nurses, well, they were fabulous. They were just really fabulous. Um, so in a way, I knew that there was this support system around,
Mm.
that I was not alone in this.
Right.
And apart from that, this is the realtor. They were the ones who really supported me as well financially with all this.
Mm.
They're the ones who rushed me to the hospital. They took care of me. So yeah, that's what happened. And then after that, I still lived in the hotel for 78 days
Mm.
total. I had to count. See, I mean, all these things you get to realize, like things that you take for granted.
Yeah.
To even say 78 days is so specific. You take for granted many things that suddenly when you lose a sight, when I lost my eyesight, I was just like paying attention to everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they also provided me when I left the hospital and then I went back to the um, apartment to the
Hotel.
hotel.
Yeah.
Cats. Okay, my cats were
Oh,
living
yes.
with my neighbor. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
another building. Okay,
Mm-mm.
so another building. It was they were living there, and then they didn't want to see me because they would run every time they see
Right.
me.
Because cats could sense that there's something wrong, that
I think they
something
associated
incomplete. Yeah.
they associated it with the explosion.
Oh,
I
the
think.
trauma as well. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, that's one thing. And so
Right.
what they did was they provided me with a psychotherapist. They
Mm.
did Reiki, acupuncture, and everything. And you'd be shocked because they also provided acupuncture, Reiki for my cats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How thoughtful. I think also
Yes.
the realtor for that
Yeah.
area, it's Ayala Corporation, right?
Yeah.
So
And
I
so
think
they were
they
very good.
yeah. So I think that's why they're very successful as a massive business, as a massive corporation in the
Yeah.
Philippines, is because they have those systems in line as well. So I think that's
Yeah.
why there's a certain class in terms of how they do things. So I mean,
Exactly.
if it was a different realtor or a property developer
I'm not
somewhere
sure.
else, it's not going to be the same, same care, same experience. Yeah, I mean, we both understand this very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
So
mean,
yes, they took care of me, and I'm so glad that they did. And people were asking me, "Okay, why don't you sue them?" And I'm like, "Why will I do that and add extra stress to my brain?"
mm.
And so this happened, and things will be all right.
so
It will
you
be all right.
So when this is happening, um, did the doctor tell you that you're gonna regain your eyesight by
There was no
something happening?
guarantee.
There's no guarantee. So,
Hmm.
do you have to go through battling that in your brain that you may not be able to see again and do something about it, or you're more optimistic? It's like, I'm gonna regain it, I'm gonna regain it. What's your process around that time?
Okay, so when I left the hospital, I could partially see. For example,
Hmm.
if I look at you,
Yep.
I could see your nose.
Oh,
That's it. So it's
interesting.
like a slit. So it's like a slit. Okay,
Wow.
I could peripherally, I couldn't see anything, but
Oh.
if I look straight, then I can only see your nose. So there is a little bit of hope. Okay.
Mm. Okay, okay, got it.
And then so because the medicines they gave me steroids and everything, I was
Mm.
gaining weight. Fortunately, I couldn't see myself.
That's the most important thing.
Because if not, that would have really depressed me like crazy. And yeah, so I was so happy that they were very supportive. Dr. Mariano,
Mm.
they he called the people in Harvard and then checked on the soldiers, the ones who experienced PTSD and who got blind, but they weren't
Mm.
physically injured. Okay,
Right. Yes.
so to check on what kind of formulation they should provide me with. So
Mm.
this never happened really. I mean, well, of course there are some cases, but it's very rare. Okay,
Right. Yes.
so they didn't really have a protocol as to what to give me. So they were
Mm.
experimenting on medicines and what, okay, how do you feel right now, and how, whatever. So for a year and a half,
Yep.
we were going through like different kinds of medicines,
Oh.
and I said to him, doctor, you know what? Can you please give me give me something that will not make me fat, because I am really double my size. Seriously, I
Mm.
was double my size, or double, or actually triple. I mean, not triple. No, no, that's exaggeration. But double.
Right. Okay.
And then what can I do? And
Mm.
she said, okay, do you have a choice? Because I always have the CT scan. I always have to have the MRI, CT scan, visual
Yes.
field test, so that they know what to give me. So what to
Mm.
see how my progress is going. And that's when I brought it up. And so I said, before you create something for me, please tell me, what can I do? I don't want to gain weight. And so he says to me, you know what, Carla, let me ask you, you have two choices. One is to be blind and sexy,
Mm.
or do you want to see, but then you're gonna have to, you know accept that your weight, you're gaining weight.
Mm.
So you have two choices: to be blind and sexy, or to go with the medication and go with the program and just go with it and then see how we go, So,
Yeah. Oh, I love your doctor. It's very straightforward. It's not
yeah,
playing around,
Dr. Bunjin
beating
Mariana
around the bush.
is amazing. So I said to him, doctor, let me get back to you.
Oh my God, you're crazy.
I was gaining so much weight. I was. And and I got back to him a day after. I called him up.
Yeah.
Okay, doc, this is my verdict. Yes, okay, I'm gonna go with the flow.
Yep.
Okay, so let's work on this.
Yes.
And yeah, so a year and a half, almost 2 years later, I
Mm.
finally regained my eyesight. I do remember that time when it was like almost fully, like
Oh,
I can
really?
see fully, and I'm like, oh wow, wow.
Yeah. How's the feeling? Can you describe it to me?
Well, because it was gradual, so
Mm.
in a way, it was like one. It's like one day you open your eyes, and then suddenly you can see peripherally,
Wow.
and
Wow.
somehow each one was a milestone. Each moment, the
Mm.
gradual progress of it, there were milestones in between. And so um yeah, when I fully was like, okay, you are 80%, okay, 80% is very good, because I
Yes.
can already see peripherally, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to come back.
Mm-mm.
That was a scare. And then because my optic nerve,
Yep.
imagine the brain,
Yes.
emotional, it was explained to me this way, not by Dr. Mariano, but the psychotherapist. The
Okay.
brain, on top of it is the emotional brain. It's like not really emotional brain, but it's an emotional part of it.
Mm.
um it's like an emotional film. And on top of that, when I got stressed during that time, the explosion, it enlarged, that the optic nerve was stretched.
Oh,
Then it had a lesion on it.
I see. Right.
So that's what happened. And
Mm.
so, like, since that happened, I should not have any kind of stress that would cause that ever,
Mm.
ever again in my entire life. So not
Oh.
even yoga that's inversions. I can't do that because my blood will go there and it will stretch everything in my
Mm.
head.
Yeah.
So I can't do inversions and everything. So I'm just trying to be careful. And yeah, so as soon as I got my eyesight back, 2016, I started. That was 2016. I started getting that was the time I broke up with my ex.
Oh, so it dragged on
Yes.
during your treatment.
Hmm. Hmm.
I see. So that was 2016 when you were healed, like mid-year
Yes.
that
Yes.
year?
No, 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 no. The beginning of
At the
2016.
beginning, because I met you December of that year. That's
Yes.
when we were
And
introduced.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh.
yeah. So yeah, that's what happened. I knew already, okay, things are gonna be clear. Everything is straightforward for me.
Mm.
I knew what I wanted. I
Yes.
appreciate everything, and I'm not going to take anything for granted. That's what I told myself.
Wow. Really? I mean, it just justifies really how much I have deep respect for you
Oh,
with
this
your
is so sweet. Stop
with
it.
really your outlook. I really appreciate that about you because you're always positive and open. And then now we understand what gives, like how you do it. And from what we can pick up, right? It's always a choice whether we're gonna take a bad situation and make it worse for ourselves, or we want to improve because we want to fight for ourselves as well. And there's sometimes a compromise, like what you're saying about, okay, I could gain my eyesight, but I'm gonna gain weight. Yeah, so I think that's a better
Exactly.
choice at that time. And it's wonderful. So, like, ah, sorry, I'm beginning to be a little bit more teary eyed because I feel so, my heart is so full right now with, you inspiring me all the time.
Oh,
Um, and yeah, so coming from this, what moving forward as well, right? Now that you're saying 2022, I'm ready. So what are you ready for? What are your future plans? What's gonna happen? What exciting things are in store for KK?
oh my God, you are my exciting thing that's happening because we have a show to do.
Yes, me too.
Exactly. And what I'm excited about is not just doing it with a friend, but it's with
Mm.
you. And every time there's like a show, I mean, every time we have a conversation, like we talk on the phone or we go video
Mm-hmm.
chat, it's like a realization, like, oh my God, we should talk about this. This is this alone is like a podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to exchange banters with you.
Yes.
Also, apart from that, I'm also excited to the things that we'll be sharing with people.
Yes.
I'm excited also to learn from them and then to hear what they have to say about our topics because yeah, we're celebrating what we know and what we want and what interests us.
Yes, totally.
Exactly. And so yeah, apart from that, there's too much
Mm.
bad news out there. Well, let's just celebrate what we can celebrate, right? And then just
Yes.
give importance to what we like doing, which is talking.
Yes, absolutely. So in closing, what's the word or phrase that you can impart to our listeners, and if you can expound on that?
Is it a particular word, just one word?
Either a word or a phrase that you can share with our listeners.
What I always say is choose to be you because I choose to be me. I am who I am because I really definitely choose to be me. As long as I'm kind and empathetic
Mm.
and there are just many things that I can say that I want to be as. But what's freeing about being me is because accepting myself and discovering new things and looking at everything with childlike wonder
Mm.
at being over 40
Yes.
It's a fantastic thing. It's like a lovely feeling, and I do hope that everyone else will feel this way, because there are many things that we have in store in our lives that we don't know about. But
Mm.
what we can do is control our reactions to things,
Yes. Here,
and being
here.
yeah, and being in control of our own reactions to what is happening around the world, and taking control of our own self, and being who we want to be, and choosing to be our natural ourselves, is the best feeling of all, because living our lives with social media is very, very tiring. you
Mm.
know there are many
Yes.
things out there, but at the same time, I just think just being authentically yourself is the best thing.
Absolutely. It's not tiring. It's yourself. You don't need to pretend. You don't need to think about it because it's just naturally you.
Yeah, exactly. I hope I described it in the correct way, but yeah,
It's
just choose to be
beautiful.
you. Let's just choose to be you. There's no judgment, and everyone else around you have their own lives. They
Yes.
actually really don't care.
Yeah.
So just choose to be you. You'll be fine.
Yes, there's only one uniquely you. So
Yeah,
don't copy anybody else. They're
that's your
already
superpower.
occupied.
Hmm. That's your superpower. When can I
Beautiful.
interview you like this?
At
I
some
want to throw
point,
this back. I want to
I'm
throw this back at you and then just ask you.
at some point we can do that.
Okay,
But
at some point.
yes. So thank you so much, KK, for hanging out with me. This is a wonderful pilot. It's always beautiful talking to you. And I'm sure we're gonna talk real soon because we need to launch our our video streaming as well.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm very excited. But thank you so much, Wish, for inviting me here, because it's an honor.
From this episode, one of the most important words about life is acceptance. It is defined as the action of consenting to receive or undertake something offered. The acceptance word also means similarly as receiving, obtaining, acquiring, affirmation, welcoming, and approval. Diane von Furstenberg quoted, "You're always with yourself, so you might as well enjoy the company." Acceptance is part of a huge process, the way we have to see things. It's a choice. And as long as we accept things around us, probably we can adjust and find a clearer path to be happy. I hope you love eavesdropping. You should start thinking about your own synonyms. What are they? Thank you for listening to the pilot episode of Human Thesaurus podcast. Join me again next week for another episode. I'm your host, Wish Ronquillo Peacock. Have a fantastic day and thanks for listening.